Hello and welcome to Keys to the Cashflow Game. I'm Kim Kiyosaki and I am the Queen of Cashflow. And today we have a very, very special treat. My good friend Mario Soria from Peru. And Mario has been teaching the Cashflow game to thousands of people for how many years?
Over 10 years teaching Cashflow game.
10 years.
Yeah.
And you've been teaching in Peru?
In Peru, in Bolivia, in Paraguay, and also here in the United States.
So Mario brings 10 years of real life hands-on experience as to what happens when you play Cashflow. And he is a wealth of information and you've seen it all.
Yeah,
You got a lot of great stories. So today what we want to do is share some of Mario's real life experience and some of the distinctions that he sees when people play the Cashflow game and from teaching the Cashflow game. So today what we want to focus on are the opportunities.
Small deals and big deals.
Yes, and that's one of the keys to the Cashflow game. So if you look in the rat race on the Cashflow game, there's the space that says small deal, big deal. And this is where the Cashflow opportunities come from.
So usually people, when they start, some of them, you have to think big, but many people go right away for the big deals.
Oh, instead of, so you get an opportunity card, you land on small deal, big deal.
You have to pick.
You pick a card, and then you have to choose whether you're going to choose a small deal, which costs
Between 0 to 5,000 more or less.
okay, or a big deal, which
Can start from 6,000 to 200,000. So
Okay.
there are pretty large difference between big deals.
So a lot of people, when they're just starting out and they land on pick the opportunity and they pick a card and they have no money, they're just starting, they have no cash flow.
That's true.
And they pick a deal and they go for the big deal.
Yeah.
Why do they do that?
Because many people think they want to start big, they have to think big, they have to do big things. But what they figure out after picking some big deals, like they don't have enough money, they cannot get a loan for that, they haven't saved enough cash to jump into those kind of deals.
So you know what I see, especially with the guys.
Yeah.
I see a lot of ego.
Yeah.
I got a lot of ego. I'm going to go for that big deal because I'm the big dog. And they jump in and they waste a turn on the game because they find out they can't do that deal.
Yes, they waste a turn, or sometimes they jump into get a big loan and go to bankrupt the first turn. I've seen that a lot of times too.
You've seen people go bankrupt right away.
Yeah, right away.
So, one of the keys that we teach at Rich Dad is when you're starting in investing, when you're starting any type of investment, even when you're starting a business, start small. And the reason you're going to start small is because there's a ton of learning. Just like on the Cashflow game, there's a ton of learning to be done. But if you don't take the time and don't get the education, then chances are, if you don't start small, if you start with a big deal, chances are you're going to make a ton of mistakes and you're going to lose that money. So do you see that happen in the game?
In the game happens all the time. When people jump right away for the big deals, they make that kind of mistakes. But sometimes when they go from small, they start taking higher and higher steps inside the small deals. They make money.
Yes.
Then after they make, some cash, 10, 20, 30,000, they can start moving into the big deals and take that experience they learn from the small deals into the big deals.
Right. So when Robert and I created the Cashflow game, so much of it is based on our real life experience. So for example, when I started investing in 1989, I started with a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. Our good friend and partner, Kenny McElroy, started with a little tiny condo. Robert started with a condo in Maui. We started small, we learn, we make mistakes, and then you move on to the next deal and the next deal and the next deal. And that's what we want to teach in the Cashflow game, is that you don't want to go for the big deal first, because there's two things you can invest. You can invest time and you can invest money. And what happens for a lot of people is they don't want to take the time, they don't want to learn, they don't want to get their education in whatever it is they're going to invest in. No, they're going to take a stock tip from their cashier at the grocery store. Or their relative or their in-laws call and say, oh, I got this great deal, you should come in on it, without any education. So do not invest your money first, invest time in the education, and that's why we created the Cashflow game, is to get the education to play with paper money, fake money, so that when you make the mistakes in the game, you're going to be that much smarter for when you go out in the real world and you start investing. So the key is, in the small deal and big deal, is to start where?
Just start small, get the practice, get experience, test how much you can invest, how much money you could put in, how your emotions feel when you're doing that, and then when you have that experience, move into the big deals.
It's the same with business.
The same.
You know, we often say, if you're going to start a business, don't quit your day job, start with a part-time business. And you've learned that from the cash flow game.
I learned that from the cash flow game. When I was playing the cash flow game, I saw you get a profession. It doesn't matter if you are a secretary, a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer. You have your daytime profession. And when you make your money, when you make your investments, when you start your company part-time. In your extra time, with your extra money, you start making your baby steps, you start building your wealth one step at a time. And you do that with the small deals. You don't have to quit your job right away. You can, at the same time you're having your job, in your extra time, start your investments.
So just in the cash flow game, same in real life, there's no quick fix, there's no magic pill. You've got to put in the time, you've got to put in the effort. You start small, you take baby steps. Anytime Robert and I are going to learn something new, we start small. So for example, if Robert and I want to learn about a new investment product, we'll either go buy a book, we'll go talk to somebody who's doing it, we'll go attend a seminar to learn about it. We want to get as much experience as possible, as much knowledge and education as possible before we part with our money. Because you work really, really hard for that money. So you want that money working hard for you. The whole key behind the cash flow board game is you want your money working hard for you so you don't have to work hard for your money. So remember, start with a small deal, get the experience, get the education, work up to the big deals so that you can go from the rat race to the fast track. If you like these videos, please click on the subscribe button or hit the notification bell so you'll have access to more videos of keys to the cash flow game. And start playing cash flow in real life.